Welcome, everyone. This is Annie Alexander. This is our March Wildfire Organization team meeting. And we're going to start out today with a little bit of fun. So, who's ready to play Panama Trivia? You guys all have pen and paper?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. This is all on the honor system, by the way. I think whoever gets the most right might win something special. Okay? All right. What are the three colors of the Panama flag? No Googling.
I'm going to guess red, yellow, and orange.
Okay, write them down.
Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to write these down?
Yep, write them down. We're going to do 4 questions, and whoever gets the most right is going to win.
Okay.
Okay, what is a polera?
A what?
A polera. Come on, Rodney. If you want to go to Panama, you got to get these questions right.
What is it?
Hey, sweet thing, how are you?
Hey.
Rodney's been on some incentive trips, so that's why he's so interested. What is a polera?
He's listening right now.
P-O-L-L-E-R-A is how you spell it. Okay, the Panama Canal was built by the U.S. and opened in 1914. How many people died while building the canal?
A bunch. From chicken pox or whatever,
This isn't
from the
your fault.
mosquitoes. I'm serious. I'm right. Listen.
That may be true. I don't know how they died. I just know how many. Okay, the last question. Street vendors often sell barbecue what on a stick?
Rat.
Write it down. Okay, so there's 4 questions. We'll go through the answers, and then I'm just going by your guys' honesty of who got what right. Okay, what 3 colors are the Panama flag? Anyone want to guess?
I said my guess. I don't know that it's right, but I know it's not right. But red, yellow, and orange.
There's the flag. Red, white, and blue.
Nice.
Oh.
All right, what is a polera? Anybody know?
Is it a kind of animal?
It's a good guess. It's the dresses that are worn at festivals or celebrations. And they can cost like several $1,000s.
Wow.
They usually only have 2 in their lifetime. One is a child and one is an adult. It's kind of cool, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right. The Panama Canal was built by the U.S. and opened in 1914. How many people died while building it? Any guesses?
400.
Wow.
5,609.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Street vendors often sell barbecue what on a stick? Any guesses besides rat?
Chicken.
What do you say? Chicken? Monkey.
Oh.
I know, isn't that gross?
I love monkeys. Are so cute.
I know, but oh. All right, so did anyone get any right?
No.
All right, but we learned a lot about Panama, so that's good. All right.
Stop. Okay, I'm muting myself.
So if you guys are, whoever wants to go for this trip, it's really about consistently working. So if you want to be consistently working throughout the year, talk to your upline leaders so they can get you plugged in. We have special groups that talk and cheer each other on throughout the year. So be sure to let your upline leader know, because we just started tracking for it last month. So there's plenty of time left. I think, Suzanne, your first trip you went on, when did you start working? Like that June? And you went on the trip for 2?
Yeah, well, I enrolled in March and then promoted to team leader in May. And then I think I earned it by like November or December.
Yeah. So like in 6 months.
Yeah, I think it was like 7 months. I earned it in 7 months.
So it's totally doable. All right. Okay, let me pull up what else we're actually gonna do tonight. Besides that, can you guys see this screen okay? It says team building with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. All right, this is what we're gonna talk about in just a minute. I wanted to just talk about February for a second. So our org volume was up slightly in February, which is fantastic. And however, our team volume was down by half. And our reps that were working were down by half. And so I started looking at that and kind of trying to analyze it. If we work in the prosperity circle, which we've talked about, having a vision and connecting and then working the plan, and then you assess. So at the end of each month, I look at our numbers and kind of say, okay, well, what happened this month? What was going on? What can I learn from this? So when I was looking at it, I thought, well, some people just aren't working as much in February for whatever reason. And that's fine, okay? It is what it is. But what can I control? And so I was looking at that and thinking, well, let's look at my numbers. So last December and last January last December, like 2015, January 2016, my recruiting was up compared to this year. This year my recruiting was down. And so I really think that played a big impact into how February went for my team, because I didn't have as many people working and as many people starting. And so when I saw that, I thought, oh, guess what we're going to talk about then this month? Team building for our call. Because I can see, how important it was. I slacked off at it, and then my results were what they were. Okay. And so I really want to focus on team building a lot. And I think sometimes team building makes people really uncomfortable. How many of you guys feel like you've mastered team building? You're very comfortable with it. Talk to people about it when you meet them. Show of hands, raise your hand. Super comfortable. Okay. No hands. This is why we're talking about team building tonight. Okay. So who's uncomfortable with it? Like just really, truly uncomfortable. And be honest, you guys. Okay. Awesome. Does it help you guys to know that there's other people that are totally uncomfortable with it and it's not just you? I mean, for me, that helped me when I was first learning how to team build and what it was all about. So let's talk for a minute about why you guys, and I'm asking you to be a little bit vulnerable here, but tell me why you think you feel uncomfortable with team building.
I'll start. So I think that my
Wait, will you say your name so everyone knows who's talking?
I'm Jessie, and I am under Danielle. And I feel like I'm uncomfortable because I am uncomfortable when other people approach me about their business opportunities. So I think that is hard for me to really be confident in what I'm doing and know that, I do want to share with other people, but it's hard because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have something they're thinking about? Why do you think you're uncomfortable with it?
I just think I have trouble bringing up that conversation, to bring it up to someone, how to, see if they're interested, or I don't want to feel like I'm assuming that they'd be interested in it. I don't want anybody to be offended by me bringing that kind of thing up with them. So.
Okay. So just like you don't want to feel pushy, or
Right.
or do you feel like you don't have the words to use, or is it both?
Both.
Okay. Okay. So if I can give you the tools and some words to use, then it would just be you don't want to feel pushy.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else?
I think I agree with what Amy just said because I'm very unaware. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to talk to people about the product itself. So
Mm-hmm.
first time. So that's getting me out of my comfort zone, but it's getting better every day.
Yeah. And that's Rachel, by the way, who just launched with an $800 party. Yay, Rachel.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think I'm comfortable talking about it and I'm confident with what I'm offering people. But I currently have had, I think I have like 5 people who are on my, I don't know, I've heard you guys use the term bubble before, where I know they're interested and I just can't seem to figure out where, either what's holding them back or just kind of at what level to, like I feel like they're all right there on the fence and just getting them to go ahead and jump in and dive in and really focusing this year on signing people who really want to work. And so finding that comfortable zone of figuring out when the time is right for them. So being patient and just continuing to stay in touch with them and wait for that timing and just kind of playing that whole
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah. So just figuring out whether they're ready or not ready. We've talked about that before. Are they ready to jump in or not? And so remind me, Kelly, at the end, I want to talk through a little bit of how I get to that spot where I know either what's holding them back or why they're ready, not ready, what's going on. Because I normally figure that out unless they just quit talking to me.
Yeah.
Based on the follow-up that I do. Okay. So I'll talk about that towards the end. So if you guys had to say, okay, the energy, I'm going to talk a little bit about the energy that you bring when you're uncomfortable, which I think almost everybody on this call said they were uncomfortable. What energy do you think you bring to the conversation when you're uncomfortable about talking about it?
I think you lack confidence, and so then you don't come across as professional and you don't come across as doing something that they want to do. If you look uncomfortable, then they don't see themselves in your shoes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Any other thoughts on that?
When I'm doing my demo and I come to the 5 reasons why people wild tree, then I think if I get this, then I downplay it. Like I try to go through it really quickly. So, and that's through lack of confidence. I don't have the confidence there yet. And so I just downplay it and assume that nobody else they're interested, but I feel like I have to show it to them. So.
Yeah. And I wonder why we think that people won't be interested. Because all of us sitting on this call were interested.
I know that this is Rachel again, but I know that I've been using Wild Tree for, I think, 3 years, maybe, Annie, when you first introduced it to me.
Yep.
But for a long time, I was always on the fence because it wasn't the right time for me and for valid reasons. But because I had that feeling at one time, it's not that I'm trying to empathize, but when I call people and immediately they say, oh, I have this game, I have this game, I have this game. I don't know when I'm going to do this. But it's almost like there's a portion of us that are trying to understand, but we can never understand what's in their mind, to be honest, but we try to.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So my vision and where I had the paradigm shift when I started team building, because it took me a while. Like when I first started, I didn't recruit anyone right away by any means. And it really took me learning some more skills and understanding why it was important, and really understanding the paradigm shift for me was seeing Wildtree as a gift to somebody. And that our business kit, our opportunity is the best product that we have, the best product, period. And if you don't see that yet, then I challenge you to write that down as like your first action step from this call. And I thought, how can I share with you guys like what a gift it is? So I'm going to share a couple of stories with you. One of them, these are people that I've seen. I've seen this happen literally within our organization. And I'm not going to share names, but I have seen someone go from paying or really selling their furniture on Craigslist to pay for diapers to making thousands a month. That's the impact that our opportunity has. I mean, maybe you guys have been in this boat. I haven't been in this boat of selling things on Craigslist to pay for diapers. That's pretty, pretty crazy. And they start Wildtree, and they have no direct selling history, and they're making thousands a month now. I mean, do you guys see that as a gift? Do you see what I mean by what a gift it can be? Another one, and honestly, this is my personal story. In the past 18 months, we have had the opportunity to train with Jen Robinson, who's a coach, and she has taught me so many things about personal development and about learning who I am and the impact that I can have. And it has changed my family. It's changed my marriage, and it's still changing my marriage right now. But it is having a huge impact that I would not have that opportunity if it weren't for Wildtree. I wouldn't have it. And this, to me, is a gift that is like priceless. The $50, it just makes me almost laugh. Like, maybe we should have it more expensive and people would understand what a gift it really is, because it is priceless. And if you guys can have that paradigm shift in your mind of what a gift Wildtree can be for somebody, it really helps it makes it easier to talk about with everyone. Because you don't know, it may not be for the person you're talking to, but it may be for their best friend, it may be for their sister, it may be for their cousin. You have no idea, and it may not be for them right now, but it may be for them later. Okay. So think about that. Think about that paradigm shift, and how you can use that to change your mindset and change your energy when you're talking about it. So my vision for our team is that by April, we double in size. Okay. All that means for each of us is that everyone recruits one person by the end of April. Who can do that? Who's on board? All right. One person. And I really think it can be done. And the only reason I don't say do it in March is because I think it really truly takes 5 to 12 touches of follow-up for people to jump on board. It is rare, if ever, maybe one person on my entire team that I've recruited that signed up the very first time I talked to them. It just doesn't happen. So if you're talking to people but never following up, that's why you're not team building. The fortune truly, truly, truly is in follow-up. Okay? Okay. Jen Klein and Tegan's in our organization. And Jen is in a different organization, but they both live out in Colorado. and they had a big kickoff this weekend. And so they did a combo team building with confidence PowerPoint. So I just want to walk you guys through this a little bit, and I'm going to probably go faster than they went. But I want to give you some good like tips with this, but then also I have some other thoughts I want to give specifically on the follow-up that I was talking about that I think will be helpful. So if I'm going too fast, please stop me and ask questions, because I feel like some of the stuff we talk about and then some of it we don't, and I want to make sure that I can touch on a little bit of all of it. Okay. So we talked a little bit about, being fearful and not having that confidence. And so just know that when that happens, the energy you show up with is that kind of fear, and you will just get a lot more impact if you take that fear away. You just have to like face it and just be like, I am not going to be fearful. People need to know about Wild Tree. I mean, they need to know about it, and I'm going to share it, because whose life can I change tonight? Whose life can I change in 6 months? And some people don't even know their life needs to be changed until they hear you talking, and a light bulb will go off. So just think that even if some people, if you're seeing their body language of like, oh, they're talking about that business opportunity and they're checking out, don't worry about it. The people that need to hear it are going to hear it, but they need to hear it from a confident, just be confident when you say it, no fear. Okay. So I love this quote. Don't let the fear of what could happen make nothing happen. And that is when you just get so paralyzed because you don't know what to do. So confidence building tips, engaging with your why and other people's whys. And we talked about this in January a lot, and building our stories. So if you feel like you don't know your story and don't have that down, please talk to your upline leader. We have had training on this, and we can help you really dig in and figure out your why and be able to share that concisely with people. Don't prejudge. You never know. The person who is working 60 hours a week and is a lawyer and accountant, you never know, they may want to get out of that job. The woman that has 6 kids at home, she may just need to get out of the house 3 times a week, but her husband doesn't want her to unless she's making money. This could be the perfect opportunity. You just don't know. So that's why you have to talk to everyone about it. Okay? Knowing the business opportunity is the best thing. We talked about that. Know the facts about the business opportunity. How much is the kit? How do they actually sign up? And if you don't know these, please talk to your upline about it or shoot me a message. And know that you're always planting seeds. And you guys, this is not just at parties when you're planting seeds and talking about it, but with everybody you meet, everything that you're doing, if they know you do Wild Tree, you are planting seeds every place. When I go on trips on the airplane, I try not to sit by people I know, unless I'm with my kiddos, because I may sit by somebody that I can share Wild Tree with, and you just never know who you're going to meet next. So you're always planting seeds. So goal setting. How many of you guys have set goals for team building? I'm going to kind of flip through. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I honestly never used to do this. And then I realized that it was actually really important. So now I do. So for you, no matter where you are, if you're at the rep level, then set a goal for how many people you want to be on your team. And it usually takes, you have to talk to 10 people to get one person to join. Okay? So don't feel bad if you talk to 5 people and nobody joins. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay? How many potential reps are going to go into your funnel? And your funnel is really, there's a picture in here later, but your funnel is like everybody that you meet and talk to at parties, outside of parties, everybody. Everyone's in that funnel. And Kelly was saying like it's a bubble. Same sort of concept. Everyone who's in there. Okay. And then if you are a leader and above, what is your team building goal? For your whole team, for the month, for the year? What are you looking at? Those of you that are going for a trip, what is your goal for team building? So your second action step would be to, what is your monthly goal for team building? And write that down. Or at least write it down to come back to and think about it later. So we're going to talk about team building with confidence outside of an event. And here's the picture of the funnel. So these are all your prospects up here. And then you're going to get, you know, if there's 30 up here, you're going to get 3 who drop out and sign up to be a rep. And then they move on to be performers, leaders, etc. So you need to have some sort of tracking system for those reps. And you guys, mine is so simple. And it's actually just at the back of my calendar. This like goes with me everywhere. And I just have a list of people that I follow up with every quarter, if not more often. These are all my people, to see kind of where they are, if they're ready, not ready, what they want to do. And then I have my regular follow-up for those hot leads that are like, oh, I'm really interested, and I'm talking to them on a regular basis. So find a tracking system. Identifying potential team members. So again, these are people outside of the party. So you have your cold market. These are people you've never talked to before, don't really know them. And another way to get that is referrals. So I have a lot of referrals. And as you grow your wild tree business, people will refer others to you to start with a product, and then they become hostesses, and then eventually some of them become reps. And then your warm market, those are people that you've interacted with before. They know wild tree a little bit, but maybe you need to follow up with them. That would be like the list that I just shared with you. That's my warm market. And then also, who have you not shared wild tree with that you would like to? So I have a list of like a dream team, and I'm adding people to that all the time. And those would be people like someone I met at my son's basketball games this last season. I started just telling him a little bit about wild tree, and then I'm continuing to just follow up with that person. Inviting via social media. Don't feel like you have to get on all of these things. I'm on YouTube, but just to post our team stuff. I'm not really on it. Instagram, I'm not on. So Facebook is the only thing I'm on that I use. So everyone's different. So if you're a social media, you know what you're doing, then use more of that. And if you're not, don't feel like you have to learn it. And then inviting via circles of influence. When you started this, you should have this filled out with your kind of contact list of 100. And these are meaningful conversations that you're going to have like one-on-one in a coffee date or a Zoom call like this. Those are people you can invite. And then social interactions. Keep your ears and eyes open. So at any time I'm, out socially and I hear conversations like I'm looking for a new job or anything like that, I am always asking questions and just saying, oh, tell me more. What are you doing? What are you looking for? And if if Wild Tree seems like it might be a good fit, then I'll say to them, like, have you ever considered this? And a lot of times I'll say, like, I know this is crazy, but hear me out for a second. I just said that to somebody that I've known for 3 years and who's a doctor. And so he's a hot lead I'm following up with right now. So team building verbiage out and about. So conversations with people that you know, family, friends, customers, hostesses, and then conversations with people you don't know. And those, again, are like your referrals that you're going to get or people that you just meet in random places. And I love this quote, don't go out to prospect people, prospect while you're out and about. So just be who you are, go to your play dates, do the regular things you do, but just have Wild Tree in your mind to share with people as a gift. that they can do. So additional ideas for team building, and this is more for leaders. You could do a team building blitz. Everyone can create like their dream team list, and that's what I was talking about before. It's your top 25, someone from high school, someone from college, people who you think would be really good, people who you want to be on the beach with, that would be good to put on your dream team. And then think nationally. So our organization is in over 40 states, which is amazing. So kind of think about that. And who do you know across the nation? I'm just going to pause right there. What do you guys have any questions so far? Or tell me a couple of your key learnings.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This is Courtney. How do you explain to people how Wildtree is different from other direct sales companies?
Tell me more about what's driving your question, because I normally don't talk about other direct selling companies when I'm talking about Wildtree. So I feel like there might be some more information.
Yeah. So I guess I feel like part of my hesitation is that I feel like direct sales has a stigma. And so like when you're saying, you know, that people have gone from really desperately needing money to now they're making thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that there are people in other direct sales companies who also make really good money.
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of my like lack of confidence is that I know Wildtree is awesome, but I don't know how to tell people that it's even more awesome than other options, I guess.
A lot of times, I mean, I truly don't bring up other companies when I'm talking about Wildtree, unless I'm specifically asked. And then I usually try not to say anything about the other company. I just say, here's how Wildtree works. Like, I know from researching other comp plans that Wildtree is one of the best comp plans out there. And so I'll share that with them, and I'll share other people's stories with them, just like the story I shared with you. Like, here's a girl on my team that I know this is what happened with her. And I'll share Sanara's story. Our top person who works here, she makes almost $1 million a year. You know, so it depends on what the conversation is. But those are things that I would say. And I just think Wildtree is the best. So I truly believe that. So,
yeah, maybe I'm just like afraid of getting asked that question. And it sounds like it might not even come up. So,
yeah,
you know, I think that's probably been holding me back, that I'm like, I don't know how to, I mean, because I've never been with another company. I don't know how to explain the difference or whatever. So that's probably just like a false insecurity.
Yeah, and, you know, anytime that something comes up like that, here's how I answer. You know what? I have no idea. Like, if someone asked me that question, I'd be like, you know what? I really don't know the answer to that. Let me talk to my upline and get back to you.
Okay.
And so don't let that fear of not knowing the answer to something hold you back, because it is totally okay. I mean, you guys, there's times I say, you know what? I don't know that answer. I said it today on our Facebook team about somebody wanted to know the breakdown of grapeseed oil after it was frozen. I have no clue. I don't know, you know, but email field sales services. Maybe they know. I don't know. But if someone asked me a question about another company, then I would probably tell them, you know, I haven't researched their comp plan. Here is how Wildtree works, and here's why I think it's so great.
And Courtney, it's Kelly talking.
Hey.
I've never had anybody ask me that question or really want me to do a comparison, but I will say that when I am talking with somebody about Wildtree, I do like to throw out those points that really drew me to it. Like, for example, you know, that your market is everybody eats, so you're not limited in marketing too. I also like that I truly believe that Wildtree is in no way a fad and is in no way something that will go out of style or will fizzle out. And so I wouldn't want to point out another company and like accuse that company might, but I think that most people can allude to what I'm talking about in general, that, you know,
Yeah.
food is something that's not going to go out of style or whatnot. So I like to talk about those things, but I definitely have never really had to talk about it in a way of join my company and not theirs. I don't know. I don't really do
Okay.
that. So, but yeah.
Great point.
Thanks. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. So I talked about earlier that list, that warm list that I showed you that I have. I send an email out to them once a quarter. When we do our mega workshop here in Kansas City, I send an email out to all of them, hey, come to this. Or anytime, like Tegan's done those Discover Wild Tree events, and it's all about just learning about what Wild Tree is, I will invite everyone in that list and see if they're ready. Okay? So add everyone in your funnel to the email, highlight why now is a great time. And I just make stuff up because I think it's always a great time to join. So it doesn't have to be something incredibly special going on. And then utilizing Wild Tree's marketing pieces. So these you can either find in the MRC or on our Facebook team page. And if you need them, let me know and I can post them again.
I've never seen that one on the right. Do you know what that's called?
This one?
Mm-hmm. Career path and compensation.
It's in the MRC. If you type in compensation,
Okay.
it'll pop up.
Okay.
The one I show, I usually just show this one at my parties.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talk about it being $50. But this is what I talk about at my parties, is this one. Okay, implementing action steps. Practice verbiage. That sounds crazy, but you guys, it really works. So even now, when I go to do a party, I actually practice my verbiage specifically for team building because that is where I am least confident as well. And so I will actually practice what I'm going to say that day a couple of times so that I feel totally confident in walking into that party and I don't fug around with what I'm going to say. So it sounds crazy, but I still do it. So update your potential, your funnel list, create your dream team, social media. I would pick 1 or 2 of these to implement based on where you are in your business. Because to be honest, if I tried to implement all this at once, I would just throw in the towel and be like, that's way too much for me to do. So as a new rep, I would do the first one and the second or third one. And then I would start scheduling your appointments to talk to people. Anyone need that up a little bit longer, or you guys got it? Good. Okay. And then team building within the inside of an event. Just share your story. That's why we talked about earlier. Story is so important. So work with your upline to get that. Be real. Just socialize and engage. Make your job look easy. It just shouldn't be hard. And give info to everybody. And when they arrive, be ready to go when they get there so you can welcome people at the door so you can start making connections right away. I use name tags and I have people put how many people they're feeding in their family on their name tag. And that way throughout the night, I can use their name and it helps me remember who they are, as we go through the evening. And people like to hear their name. So if you're using the name through the night, they are going to be more connected to you. So during your demo, you share your story and relate the time, the money, what do? You can ask questions of everyone there, whatever works for you. And I would honestly I would work with your upline on this to figure out what works for your personality, what you feel comfortable with, and start there. Okay. And then while they're meal prepping or shopping, just talk to them, be curious, ask questions, how many kids they have, what are they involved in, things like that. This goes back to meaningful conversations. Those of you who have been with us for a little while, we've talked about those where you just ask a ton of questions. That's why the circle is bigger. And then you empathize, and then you have options. You give them options. Sometimes Wild Tree is going to be an option for them, and sometimes it's not. And that's okay. Just have a meaningful conversation with them. And by that, you build that trust. And then when you check out, everyone should be using those customer care surveys. If you're not, go to the MRC and print them out. It will help you be able to talk to each person. And it also helps in follow-up. I will look at my customer care survey and say, when I do a follow-up, I'll be like, oh, hey, Marcy, I noticed that you marked a 3 in this. Tell me more about that. Okay? And see what they say. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, I don't want to join right now, but I was thinking maybe in the summertime when I'm done with school, this might be something I'm interested in. And you're like, all right, fantastic. Let's talk in April. How's that sound? And set up an appointment with them. You just never know what their holdup is unless you ask. And that survey just gives you a really easy in, because all you have to do is say, hey, I see you marked a 3. Tell me more about it. That's all you got to say. Okay. Let's end with that. I think that is plenty of information for that. Any questions on inside the party, you're building trust and building that relationship. So then later when you're doing your follow-up, you have that relationship with them already. And so therefore you can move on through the follow-up and seeing if they're interested. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So
I think that the meaningful conversations and just developing trust with people, I think that makes it so much more comfortable too to bring up the discussion about the business, because it's so much easier to talk about it when you see how it could fit in with their life or how it might benefit them, or when you see attributes about the person that makes you think they would be good at it, to be able to honestly say, you have such a great energy about you, or, I love the way, just being able to throw out something that you noticed about them that you think would make them good at Wild Tree. And then I think that really makes it where they're a lot more interested in hearing more.
Yeah, I agree. So do you guys have a follow-up system that you're using right now for team building?
Sorry, I just thought of something too. So, Jesse, earlier you had said that the reason you're uncomfortable is because you feel uncomfortable when other people talk to you about their businesses. But I bet that they did not have meaningful conversation with you, and they don't know anything about you, and they don't know what interests you or what's going on in your life. And that's probably why it's so awkward for you, because it feels out of the blue. Like you feel like they're just slapping you with it, and you're kind of like, where did that come from? But I think if that person and you had meaningful conversations and they knew what was going on in your life, and then they offered it to you in a way of, hey, this may or may not work for you, but had you thought about this, I don't think you'd be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So it's probably all in the way they're presenting it, not so much that they're talking about a business.
Well, and that's kind of my own issues too that I'm trying to work through, that I will avoid talking to somebody about their business because I want to avoid that conversation in the first place, because I have a really hard time letting people down, and telling them no. Not that I'm going to say yes to any business opportunity, but even hosting for other people is really hard for me, unless I really, really like the product. So anyways,
yeah,
it is. It's just, it feels awkward for me. So I guess even though I really, truly believe in Wild Tree and I love it, it makes me feel awkward talking about it. I don't know. I'm trying to get over it, working on it.
I really like what you said, Kelly, with that, because I had somebody randomly message me on Facebook the other day, hey, hon, how's your week going? And I'm like, I have never even talked to you in person. Like, you have no idea who I am. So that really makes sense what you said about, if you're out of the blue, then people are going to be like, who are you? But if you've had those conversations, then it makes more sense. People would be receptive to it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to give you guys, I'm just going to tell you my follow-up that I do within a party, because I think a lot of you, that's where you are, and you can apply it to whether they're in a party or not in a party. But I, plant seeds throughout the party, which we sort of talked about, and do the 5 reasons you wild tree. I tell people at the beginning when I talk about my story, I share why I got involved. And then at the very end, when I talk about the business opportunity, I share why I'm still with Wild Tree, because for me, it's 2 different things. Okay, so some of you are in that spot in your business, and when I share why I'm still here, it correlates with those 5 reasons that people join. Okay, so I'm giving you some ideas. If you're brand new, then you can tell a little of your story, and then just use the 5 reasons to go through and tell people and share with people. That's why a lot of people join, is for different reasons. So once I do that, then at checkout, I'll either look at their survey, and we talked about that, or I'll say like, oh, what'd you think about the Wild Tree opportunity when I was talking about that? And I just leave it open-ended and see what they say. And sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know, it's probably not for me, or, oh, I was thinking my sister might be interested in that. And if I leave it open-ended, I get a lot more feedback from them on where to go. So if they are interested in the Wild Tree opportunity, then I say, okay, are you ready to get started, or do you need more information? Because some people will be like, I'm ready to get started, whatever. Most people are going to need more information. So then I say, okay, I'm going to send you an opportunity video to watch. And I set up a time right then when I can follow up with them. And I'll say something like, okay, I'm going to send this to you tonight. When do you think you'll be able to take a look at it? And they tell me, and I say, great. Okay, let's set up a call either Wednesday or Thursday. Which works best for you? And I literally pick a time, and I'm writing it in my calendar with them right at that moment. So you have a follow-up time. And it's okay if they don't get it done by then. At least you have a time to follow up with them, okay? Now, if you ask them about the Wild Tree opportunity and they're not interested, and I'm like, well, do you want to share Wild Tree with your friends right now and just host a party? And I get them booked, okay? So when I lead with, what do you think of the opportunity? If they're not interested, then I ask them about hosting a party. If they are interested, I tell them I'm going to send them something, and then I set up a time to talk with them, okay? And then when I call and talk to them, I just say, what did you think when you listened to the opportunity? And I just let them talk. It's mostly them talking, and they're telling me why they're ready or why they're not ready, okay? And then I always close, like if they aren't, they usually don't say it in those words like, I'm not ready. They're usually telling me all their reasons. And so then I say, well, do you need more information, or are you ready to get started? And it kind of depends on how the conversation flow is going. If I really have no idea where they're coming from because they're going back and forth on the fence, then I lead with, well, you ready to get signed up? And I let them tell me no, because, and they tell me why they're not ready yet. And then I can address that, whatever's holding them back, and give them more information, or set up a time to talk with them and their husband after he watches the video, or whatever it is. Okay, the key is you always have to set up the next conversation. Always, always, always. So you have that easy follow-up with them. And at each time, they're either going to be ready or they're not going to be ready. Okay, and if they're not ready, then I always find out, okay, well, when do you want me to check back in with you? over the summer and the fall, whatever works, whatever they tell me. Okay, whatever their holdup is. Okay, does that make sense? And just remember, it's 5 to 12 contacts to have somebody sign up. So that's why it's so important to set up that next scheduled time to talk. Any questions on follow-up?
I have a question on follow-up in a slightly different scenario. Something new. I've not had this happen, but I've had several people. I was doing the booking blitz, and I've had like 3 or 4 people tell me, well, let me ask around to see if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's just their way of like, they're really not interested and they're not going to do it, but they don't want to tell me no.
Yeah.
I find that an awkward way to end a conversation, because then it's like, so then I follow up a couple days later and say, oh, have you checked in with your friends? And I just feel like it's like I'm chasing a squirrel or something like that. Is there
Yeah, so when I have
run into that?
when I have people tell me that, I just write back, or I tell them, depending on what the conversation was. I have that frequently. I just say, hey, no problem. You know what I have found is that most people, the first question they're going to ask you is, when is it? And so let's look at a couple different dates on the calendar and just have 2 in your back pocket. So when they do ask that, you've got it ready to go and you can answer them. And then you can know, is it the date or are they not interested?
Yeah.
We'll know the answer by doing that. And I told someone that at a party last week, and sure enough, she turned around and she asked her friend, she's like, hey, would you come to a party if I hosted it? And she was like, well, when is it? And the girl just busted out laughing, because I literally had just said, the first thing that you're going to be asked is, when is it?
Yes.
And she's like, okay, I guess I should look at the calendar. I was like, yeah, let's look at the calendar. But that's what I say. So when someone shoots me an email back and says, let me ask around, I email them back and I say, hey, I totally understand. I think that's a great idea. Here's what I found in working Wild Tree. That the first question people are going to ask you when you're asking around is, when is it? They're going to want to know. So let's pick a date, or, a couple dates to have in your back pocket for it. Okay. Here's my availability. And I give them what my dates are.
All right. I'll follow back up with them with that then. Because, I just found that to be like an awkward cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions tonight? What's a key learning you guys took away?
Practice the verbiage. I think that's going to be my biggest, practicing what I want to say so that I'm not fumbling over my words, so I feel more confident with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's hear another one. What's another key learning?
The name tags. I like the name tags and how you have them put how many they're feeding and their families on that, because that just opens up so many conversations that you can have throughout the evening or throughout the workshop. So I like that.
I think that was Lori Clapper's idea to do the number of people they feed. Is that right, Lori? Did you share that with me?
Yes, I do that.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Yeah. Did this help you guys think about team building in kind of a different way, so you're ready to go out there and get at least one recruit by the end of April?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have one thing to add that we talked about earlier today, not on the call, but when I was talking about my, what's holding me back from being confident about it, you told me to say, when I get to the part about talking about the business opportunity, say, this is where I usually tune out, and kind of make it a joke. And then that will give me a little bit of, make me a little bit more comfortable. And maybe those people who, maybe they will listen listen because I said that. So, but then also saying, maybe it's not you, maybe it's a friend that might be interested. So anyways, that's something I'm really going to put into use to help me with my own confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just saying it's just a few minutes,
A lot of times because the business opportunity I have after, customer hosting, all of that, then I talk about the business opportunity and everyone's kind of tuning out anyway, right? So I normally say something like, all right, here's where everyone tunes me out, but hang with me for a couple more minutes. I'm going to just talk about why I love Wildtree and why other people come to Wildtree. And it's probably not for you. I know you didn't come here tonight to take on something else to do, but who it could be for is someone important in your life to you. It could be for your sister, your friend, a family member, and this could transform their lives. So just hang with me 2 minutes while I share just a little bit more. And it just kind of gets everybody's attention back to the game. Okay, last thing. Conference. Who's signed up to go? Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Not yet.
Yeah. Get on that, girls. Get on that. So did you guys see my post the other day that for every 20 that sign up in our org, that I'm going to pay a night hotel?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. Better get signed up quick.
I know when I say I have to be somewhere for a weekend, that's a huge red flag. So I tried to I put it on our little group calendar and he goes, what is that? What is that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's, so Kelly, Jesse, Lori, anyone that's been to conference with Wildtree that's on here tonight, one takeaway that you guys have from that. And I'm going to talk about, Tegan did a video and I posted it on our team page about the leaders on her team. They all came to conference last year, and then after that they promoted to leader. Mm-hmm. That's powerful stuff. And when you promote to leader, don't be scared of that. If that scares you for some whatever reason, because the word leader's in there or whatever, don't be scared of it. Just think you're doubling your paycheck. Then it's not so scary. It's great. And your upline leader can help you. We'll help you train people that you bring on. We will help you do it. Okay. We have some systems set up for that. So we will help you. So don't be afraid of it at all, but think about doubling your income. And it was so powerful to have, Suzanne, like Stacy on your team was there, and Tegan, some of her other leaders were all in that video talking about, or I guess Courtney, you're on tonight. Just talking about being at conference and then what happened afterwards. So it was powerful, powerful. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. Jesse, Suzanne, Lori, Kelly, Stacy, if she's on, anyone want to throw out there why go to conference?
You get free products and the first look at things. And it's just a lot of fun to really get to know everybody and see Wildtree as more than just, us on the call. There's so many people, and also get to see it at the corporate level. Those people will be there. So the names that you see on emails or whatever, they're real people and you get to meet them. And it's just a lot of fun and just the personal development. I actually was telling my boss today, Annie, that we were talking about some, potential job moves for me. And I said, well, I actually have some training in that because of this thing I do on the side, and so you get this training that is like so valuable. Like Annie said, at home, I talk to my kids differently. I talk to my husband differently. I talk to my friends differently. Just everything. So personal life, professional life, your Wildtree business, it's applicable everywhere. So I just think the training we get is invaluable and, or very valuable, however you want to say it. But I would never miss another Wildtree conference. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely really, really looking forward to it. And I would say for me, the biggest takeaway from conference was just that it really lasered in my focus. And when you're really focused like that, it helps to eliminate the fear. I think that when you see the mission and you have a goal and you're driven, your fear of what somebody's going to think of you or, oh, are they going to be annoyed? It kind of just goes to the wayside because those people aren't really significant in my life. So if something I said, I don't worry as much, I guess, because I know that the people that I've impacted in a good way make it all worth it. And I have never once been rude or done anything that I would ever feel ashamed of with Wild Tree. I've only done good with it. So I don't know. I just think that conference really boosted my confidence.
And it's in Kansas City. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
That's right.
And I can just add, this is Suzanne. So I've been with Wild Tree for 3 years now, actually in like 3 days, 3 years. But I joined, I was signed up for conference 3 years ago in March, like right after I joined. And I just knew I had to go if I wanted to, build a strong business, and it was just a no-brainer for me. And also, I just think like what Jesse and Kelly kind of talked about too, just building those relationships with people all over the country. I have really good friends now, because of Wild Tree, so it makes me get emotional. But it's worth it. So.
Yeah, totally is. All right, you guys. So you guys have some action steps written down from tonight. Make the last one, get signed up for conference as soon as possible. They actually have it now. If you log in and sign up, you can do a payment plan where it's like, I think $50 one month and then $25 the next 4 months or something like that. Anyway, it breaks it up really simply. And then they're also doing a volunteer event that day, Thursday, which I think as many of us that can go. It is almost full. There are only 40 spots left when I looked last.
So, I'm glad you said something because I didn't realize that, and I want to do it.
Yeah, so there's only 40 spots. So you have to register for conference to then sign up for that volunteer event. And it's really fun. I did it last year up in Indianapolis, and we had a great time. It was really good. So, and it's not hard or anything. It's easy and fun. And they have competitions, which my team always wanted to win. So that was good. We're a little competitive. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for taking time to, learn and improve and grow in your business, and keep watching for the newsletters that I send out. I posted it yesterday. I still need to send it out for this week. Normally I send it on Mondays. This month it's all about hostess coaching. Last month was all about bookings. And you can go back on the hostess, like on each newsletter at the very top, it says, take me back to the last newsletter. And then you can go to that one, take me back to the last one. So you can actually go back and do any of the ones that you missed. And it's got great information in there. So this month it's all on hostess coaching. And then our team meeting, our phone call next month is going to be on hostess coaching, just to plug in those points even more. So, all right, whenever you guys get a recruit, post it on our page and welcome them, and so we can cheer you both on. So have a great night. Have a great spring break for most of you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, bye.